Hello dear friends, this is Anthony Ross with The Aging Technology, and today we're going to talk about sleeping. Sleeping and napping and its effect on our health and therefore on rate of our longevity. A few days ago, a good friend of mine, Michael, was visiting me with his mom. And we were talking about my book, The Aging Technology, and I was explaining to them my psychological technique to reset your subconscious mind in order to prolong life. And then his mom asked me a reasonable question. She said, and how many hours do you think we need to sleep in order to optimize our rate of aging? In order to slow down our aging? Is there any certain number that human being needs to sleep in order to live longer? Well, first of all, I want to mention this. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. It doesn't matter what kind of diet you use. It doesn't matter if you're vegetarian. It doesn't matter if you do everything right. But if you undersleep, with time, it will have horrible accumulative effect for your health. So, as I mentioned, today we're going to talk about sleeping and napping. So we're going to start with a little of the personal history. My parents got divorced when I was a little child, and most of my life I lived with my father. My father was ex-military, very highly standing member of a communist party back then. So you can imagine the pressure I grew up with. My father could sleep 6-7 hours, wake up in the morning immediately, and it's incredible. The moment he wakes up, he looks around, he gets up and ready to go. I could never do that. I still can't. I was repeatedly told that anybody who sleeps more than 7 hours is simply lazy. That anybody who, after waking up, stays in bed for 10-15 minutes is lazy. Lazy. Took me many years to realize that it all has nothing to do with laziness. So, answering question of how many hours do we actually need to sleep in order to optimize our health, especially if we talk about slowing down the aging. Well, it turns out that we don't have a manual for human being how many hours human being per se, all of us, need to sleep. You need to sleep what you need to sleep. We all are incredibly different, seemingly the same, yet very different. Only one person can tell you how many hours you need to sleep, you. And you will know. You will always know. Some people can easily function on 4-5 hours. No, we're not talking about they don't have a luxury of sleeping more. They simply don't need to sleep more. Just like my father, they can sleep 4-5 hours, get up and ready to go. I cannot do that. I need to sleep at least 8 hours. I know somebody who needs to sleep 9-10 hours, need to sleep. Of course, when we're talking about how much person need to sleep and how much person afford to sleep, those are completely different things. Some people sleep only 6 or 7 hours simply because they don't have much more time for the reason, whatever the reason, kids, school, job, and so on, some other obligations. We're talking about assuming a fact that you have a luxury of sleeping as much as you need to. How many hours do you need to sleep? Well, as many hours as you need to sleep. Very simple. I also know a person, a good friend of mine, he's perished now. Many years ago we had a discussion and he told me that, no, I never sleep more than 5 hours. And I asked him, you don't want to? Exactly, he said. 5 hours, he gets up and that's all, but he needs to take 2 hours nap daily. Well, let's talk about naps. Are they good for our health and especially for slowing down the aging? The answer is absolutely yes. Once again, we're not discussing that some of us simply cannot afford to take naps. That's a different issue. We're talking about the longevity, we're talking about health. Naps. There are 4 distinct types of naps that we take. Type number 1, nap 15 to 20 minutes. This nap is perfect for giving you a boost of energy, but it will not make you drowsy. So when you really wake up, you're ready to go. And that's an advantage of this nap. Next nap is 25 to 30 minutes. Downside is that when you wake up, it will take you another 20-30 minutes, well, just to wake up. Next nap, 40 minutes to an hour. Perfect for the restoration all body functions. You will restore your physical capacity, you will restore your mental capacity. It's perfect to restore your hormonal exchange balance in the body. Problem is, it's difficult to wake up. And finally, nap over 1 hour and 30 minutes. Let's say 1 hour 31 part. It's a full-blown sleep. It's considered to be, it's going to be as deep as sleeping. And the very interesting thing is that you will probably wake up not drowsy. You will sleep longer, but wake up much easier. So napping, is it good? Absolutely yes. If you can afford it, if you can do it, please do. That's why we call it beauty nap. Restores your skin. Oh, it has incredible positive functions for our health, mentality, for everything. A lot of people have sent me messages asking, what do we do in case if we don't sleep well, if we don't fall asleep well. I'm not a specialist on sleeping. You might want to consider consulting a doctor, but usually there are a couple of things that will help you to sleep. First of all, magnesium. Very useful for our health. Mineral will help you to sleep. Also, melatonin. Very natural, 3 milligrams. It's a small pill. You can take it 20-30 minutes before you're falling asleep. It usually will last you all night. So, very good way to go. Also want to tell you this. When I've mentioned earlier that sleeping and only you will know how many hours you need to sleep, yet you have to be acutely aware of changes in your body. Let's say that throughout your life you normally sleep 8 hours. And all of a sudden, within a week or 2 period, you sleep 8 hours, you get up using a restroom, and then going back to bed and sleep another 2-3 hours. That might be an indication of a problem. That might be an indication that some changes take place in the body. It could be physical changes, or it could be mental changes. For instance, it's very common for people who are depressed. Yes, they simply cannot get out of the bed. These people all of a sudden require 2, 3, 4 extra hours to sleep just to recuperate. And when we talk about recuperation, it's not necessarily physical, it's also mental. I've heard an argument that it's ridiculous to sleep 8 or 9 hours a day, and in this case we're sleeping 1/3 of our life and wasting all this time. It's not really wasting of the time at all. Please also understand that only while we sleep, very complex processes take place in our brain that cleans it up. You see, body can rest. Even if you don't sleep, you can just simply lay down, relax your body, especially if you know advanced relaxing techniques. Muscles can recuperate. Brain only recuperates, cleans itself while we sleep. Only when we sleep, brain engages in a very interesting process. It restores the information that we acquire during the day in a way that it wants it to have. It's just like defragmenting a hard drive in a computer. What defragmenting is, computer takes all sum of information and then it restores it in the order that it wants it to have. Our brain functions exactly the same way. For instance, if you learn something, one of the best learning technique is do it before you go to bed. We say, oh, I need to sleep on that. That's exactly it, because while you sleep, brain will process information, restore the information, and in the morning, you will remember it better. And usually, if you need some sort of a solution in the morning, that will be the time when the solution will come. So, in conclusion, we all must sleep. How many hours? Only you know. Naps good? Absolutely good. This is Anthony Ross with The Aging Technology. I believe it's right here on the left corner, you will see a button subscribe. Just click on it, subscribe to our channel. In our channel, we talk about anything and everything pertaining to slowing down aging. So, invite your friends, put likes, and let's live longer and happier.